Goodbye. The ramble card.
Where did you find it?
They gave this to me and we lost it somehow. We lost it in Africa.
So Sid's going to do a talk. If you want to sort of distribute yourselves easily around. Right. So welcome to the first of the senior shows.
There are many of them, I guess.
These week-long shows. So if you have friends and they want to see this show, they need to get here this week.
We're not meeting up over spring break, so actually. But yeah, hi, if you don't know me, I'm Sid. I do art, I guess. This all kind of is a culmination of just grasping at self and material and trying to exhibit how material interacts with the world, self-value, etc., etc. I'm not really good at giving planned talks, but just like really the important thing is taking in the work and immersing yourself in the experience. The entire concept of like the self, I guess, is constructed. So when viewing work, consider it an aspect of performance. That's really all I have to say. Enjoy the work. I will do face paint if anybody wants. That's really it.
Can people ask you questions?
Yes, we are very into the questions. Cool.
I will ask the question. Could you talk about, oh, go ahead, yeah.
Do you have any siblings?
I used to. Maybe. Maybe one. But we don't talk about that one. And yes.
I see that you use a lot of different types of materials to just start. Where do you look for those materials other than like?
Okay, that's a great question. So I try to base my materials off of things that I already have and what is accessible and inexpensive. I believe in like, we are just filled with overconsumption, and part of me trying to combat that is not purchasing any new materials and working with what I already have and recycling. Actually, we had a guest speaker come in a few weeks ago, Sidney Lewis, funny. But she actually started making her work off of found garbage and utilizing that. And I learned about her work in kindergarten, and it has stuck with me since as this idea of repurposing and trying to use with what is discarded and what is considered inexpensive, what is considered unprofessional and cheap, and basically what is, unprofessional by the art world standards. I want to try to integrate like Crayola and like this like childlike materials in order to communicate this, both from an art therapy perspective of healing the inner child and connecting to that idea of unapologetically making, being unafraid to use line and being unafraid to just allow myself to produce and like let the work manifest out of itself. And I think tapping into the inner child and like through childlike materials is one way that I can get into that mindset, while also, again, bringing back to the point of consumption, saving materials and money and that kind of jazz. Yeah. Yes.
Wondering if you can talk more about this clown lens. Specifically, like just answering Emerson's question got me thinking about just this sort of conversation between high and low. Like when we think about a clown, we think about plastic and polyester, bright colors, something that's for children's birthday parties. But then there's also this other layer of like high art, like the art of clowning, right? Like somebody like, you know, I don't know, peak mime period, I don't know. So the names are not coming to me. But so thinking about like that kind of high-low, accessible versus like what's actually happening under the surface of inventing a clown persona. Can you talk about sort of how that is functioning in your work?
Okay, so my great-grandfather was a clown. He had a little miniature circus that he made out of found materials and what was available during the Depression era. Yeah. I'm probably going off against that. But like, yeah, from there, I guess this idea of performance has always been instilled in me. And then kind of back with the art therapy thing, having a personality disorder has always kind of led me to believe like this construction of self is in itself a performance. So everything that I do is putting on an act. And I find through like using like clown imagery, there's this like empowerment through the absurdly silly and way that we can employ and tackle serious issues whilst jesting. I think that it's easy to talk about difficult subjects if, you know, we have clown makeup on and a smile on our face, even if it's painted. And I feel like through that, it's a way to start to approach topics and imagery. And again, it's a personal place for me.
Yeah.
So the bright colors and, you know, the plastic and the material, it all kind of ties together, and I think it's like important sense, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you can get away with a lot more in comedy than you can like you can get away with there's something special that you can get away with in comedy and say in comedy that you can't say anywhere else. Yeah.
Yes.
I want to hear more about your grandpa's circus.
Okay. So, yeah. My great-grandfather, like, I don't know, Nana, if you want to just fact check me on all this.
You ran off and joined the circus.
Yeah.
To be a clown.
Yep.
So at the Ledger Fair.
Yeah, he
On
ran
the
off.
miniature circus, he did build
Yeah.
out of the toys, he took away, you know, from us sometimes, but it was a three-ring circus with all moving parts.
Yeah, and seeing that, like, it's weird because I actually didn't know about the miniature circus for a little minute. But my brother and I, and that's also the reason why there is this train table actually. My brother and I used to look at like the early Wii era Mario models and noticed that like the simple shapes and geometry of them were like almost clay-like, and we were like, we can do that. So we started turning a train table into Toad Town, and it became like this rendition of like basically a miniature circus in that kind of way of just how much we could build and add on to it. And then learning about my great-grandfather in that kind of act really kind of tied back to that childhood aspect of touch and community and building this kind of world. So combining those elements of, again, performance and childhood, yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right, hope that helps.
Yeah, that was good, because I was even going to ask, like, if you did stuff like that when you were a kid, and you answered it, so thank you.
Anything else? Yeah? Yes.
Talk about the clown sign. I like that one.
Oh, okay, so yeah, on this back wall, we've got the Caution Clown series, in which, during a harsh winter, falling on my ass reminded me that I am myself a clown, and caution falling ice and snow, you can get clown out of it. So, it has become a series. I do believe clowns exhibit a sense of caution. I feel like when we see them, we are on alert, and the signs are sort of pointing in that direction, while also like awareness, I guess, and this performative aspect of things that we do upon seeing signs, like how we're expected to behave and like set behaviors and that kind of sense. If that makes any sense. Yeah. So yeah, face paint? Yes.
I want to look at these things while I get some shots here.
You need me to move?
Oh, you can move your arm.
Oh, no, I'm just standing here.
Okay.
Yeah. My standing space.
Sounds good. Clown me. I want to be clowns. Maybe like a cool clown. Like really, really awesome. Bitching clown. I love mimes. I love a good mime. I know. Should I close my eyes?
It's really kind of,
Right.
so, yeah. And it doesn't only use stuff for this.
I didn't want to use it because I was just reading it.
She's been like telling me how to sing. She was saying the exact thing you just said this morning. About how she's like seeing children and seeing her daughters are spending. I got the I was like
I've had incredible, and I've been that since, and it's changed.
Did you take the card yet? Take one. And you can take the whole table too, please. I need this out of the house. It just takes up space. And then, like, they've had it for years now. We tried selling it at a garage sale for like $5. Nobody took it.
Yeah, I mean, the people that are here really just
They literally don't have makeup remover because they don't wear makeup.
they live longer in Detroiters own homes for the first time, and like investing in their own neighborhood. It's I love New Zealand. I want to keep going back.
Yeah, it's really amazing. Yeah. So a lot of